everybody, it's Brittany at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. Here with another home tour for you. Gonna show you guys Miss Nala Serval. So Nala is an African serval. She had been housed as a pet, as you saw from the sign, when her owner passed away. Like many exotic pet owners, these cats may bond to like one person in a household, and unfortunately not to anyone else. So we stepped in and agreed to take Nala, and now she's got quite a large cat-a-tat here at Big Cat Rescue. So what I'm gonna do is just start from this corner right here, which this is a feeding lockout. And a feeding lockout is where the cats come every single day to get their meals. It's also something we use during operant conditioning, which is our training program. It's just a light training program where we earn the trust of the cats, and we make sure that when we call their name, they'll come running over. We make sure that if we ask them to lay down, that they do. We can get a good view of their eyes, ears, nose. How are they walking? How's their demeanor today? Anything that might raise a red flag, because cats are stoic and they like to hide everything. So we can call her in and get a really close-up view of her. And if there was an issue, we could drop that door that you see right behind there and actually be able to get her into a transport cage. So you'll see there's a pile of rocks here. We do that in a lot of the lockouts that are prone to the earth just washing away, because we do scrub and clean out every single water bowl every single day, and we don't want standing water there all over the sanctuary, creating a bug issue. So this is a safety entrance here. It's a double door system. It's one of the ways that we have learned to safely go in and out of enclosures when we need to. So we can shift her around in either direction. Wherever we don't need to go, we can put her in that side and go in the other side and do whatever we need to do there. So she'll have several of these safety entrances. You'll see that there are locks. Only a few people have those keys, and all three doors are locked. You're also going to see that there are hoses sporadically placed so that they reach every single lockout in the sanctuary. And then because this hose is really close to the side of her cage, you'll see a really thin mesh on there. That way any of the cats that might want to play with the hose can't actually get to it. Here's beautiful Nala. All of our cats have signage on their enclosures for various volunteers and special donors, anyone who has sponsored the cat up to a certain amount, and various organizations. So that's a really cool thing that we do here. You'll see all the natural foliage throughout the enclosures. So she has lots of palmettos. This is a tree stump den that's a little elevated, so say it gets really rainy. It's Florida, we have a storm season. That is just one of several places she could go to reach higher ground. You'll see there's an interior wall here, but right over there is a doorway. So even though it might look like, she would only be in this one front bubble, there's actually an open door right there that could allow her to come over into this section. This is a large concrete den, and you'll see that there is a doorway there, and then it's full of sand. And then just looking through, we'll end up on the other side, but so there's a nice platform over there. She can either get on top of it, or most of them lay under it for shade. Come around the corner here. So there's this other doorway here, and there's a tunnel that goes across, and from the other side there's another safety entrance that would allow us to either go to this side or this side. Another view back the way we came from. That's the lockout we originally started at over there. The tunnel over to this area. Now she's got tons of area to blend in and chill out all day. Servals are amazing at their camouflage. So she's got a lot of really cool foliage. There's another little feeding lockout here. This one's mainly for water. We don't actually feed her there, but we do make sure that each bubble has access to water. So another view over, and then there's a little tunnel again into another bubble, and this is where our girl is. Hi, Nala. Hi. Nala's laying next to her coolaroo. That is a mesh bed that's lifted up off the ground, and a lot of our servals actually lay under them, like a little tarp, but they can lay on them and it allows a nice cool breeze to just go right under them. She's just blending in over here in all of her pretty foliage. I know. And so behind her, you'll see she has another tree stump den, and then there's a big tall platform back there, so we'll go take a look at that. Thanks, Nala. At least she didn't get up and run. So there's some natural grasses over here, and then this tree stump den is also super elevated, so yet again, if there was a lot of rain, which there is during our storm season, she's got plenty of places to go up high. You'll see she also has her little pumpkin. So we do a lot of seasonal enrichment here, and one of those being pumpkins and gourds every October. So she's got a really tall platform. She can get all the way up on top because there's a little shelf step on the other side there. And we're constantly having to go in and test the integrity of these because they are outside in the elements. So a lot of times you'll see brand new boards on. That's something that all of our keepers are also trained on, is that anytime you think something looks like it needs repaired, not only do we have a vet log and a feeding log and various other logs that we keep for enrichment and operant, but we do that for maintenance as well. So this is her feeding lockout. Same deal, pile of rocks to keep no standing water in the area. She's got a tile there, which we're constantly replacing. You can see that one has chipped. And then she has the chicken wire around it to help keep any kind of debris from falling out of the trees and into the water. Another view back. She's got a very large enclosure, so now we're gonna walk all the way around the opposite side again. She stood up to see where we were going, and did we bring treats? Hi, honey. Sorry, no treats, babe. I know. I'm sure somebody's coming, though. It's afternoon. I know. What good am I? So then there's this little tunnel back over, back into this big section with all of those palmettos. It's really a beautiful enclosure. Another hose. This one reaches her feeding lockout, as well as Des Serval, which is her neighbor. Oh, thought maybe she was gonna follow us for a second. She's showing you how she uses her doorways and how she uses her amazing camouflage. And you'll notice that all of these walls are kind of curved back and forth, and the gauge of this wire, or the size of the squares, is 4 by 4, so 4 inches by 4 inches, and it really allows any kind of heavy wind to just kind of whip right through it. You wouldn't want a solid surface, especially in an area that has a hurricane season every year, because you want to allow the wind to just whip right through. The way it's created is if something were to fall, the sides of the cage would actually kind of crumple in and create a blockage versus just busting wide open. And you'll see that there are support columns throughout a lot of our enclosures, and that they all have a roof for the small cats. Here's another view back of that platform. Now she's all the way up at that front section, if you can see her moving. So we are almost back to her original lockout. Let's go see what she's doing real quick. She's looking feisty. So now we're back to that very first lockout. She's over here playing in her tree stumps, looking for something. I know. Well, hopefully this helps anyone who at first glance seems to think that our enclosures are very small and that the cats don't have room or toys, that they have to do something weird to find water, none of which is true. So I've started this series to help clear up some of those misconceptions about us. If you have other questions, go to bigcatrescue.org/cages.